Are you looking for new premises for your business? If you are a business owner, leasing the right premises in the right location for the right price is critical. Regardless of whether you own a medical practice, dry cleaners, a coffee shop, or a manufacturing business, you need to consider so many different factors. It can seem overwhelming, but with a little forward planning and an experienced legal advisor to guide you through the process, you can minimise any potential risk. The first step when looking to lease a location for your business is always to decide what type of business premises you require. Different rules, regulations and conditions will apply depending on the type of property you're after. For instance, do you need a shop, an office or a factory? If it's a retail or hospitality business, do you want a street front or shopping centre location? Do you have any other requirements that may or may not be included? For example, if you're opening a food outlet, do you need seating area for customers or perhaps storage room for your stock? Do you require car parking spaces or external signage if you are an office-based business, for example? When you find premises that suit your needs, your legal advisor will help you to address 4 key issues that you need to understand before signing on the dotted line. Firstly, how much are you going to be paying? It is critical that you consider all of the costs associated with premises. Will you be paying gross rent or net rent? Net rent is base rent plus outgoings and other levies. In a large shopping complex, you are likely to also have to pay turnover rent. All of these options can vary considerably and you will need to understand your obligations up front. You should also factor in any fit-out costs, signage and other setup costs. Secondly, what can you negotiate at the beginning of your lease? You'll want to establish if you require development approval from council to run your business in the new premises. If you do require it, it can be a costly and time-consuming process and impact on the lease start date, as well as when you can actually commence trading. Allowing time to get a development approval should be negotiated up front. This is also the time to negotiate rent-free periods and contributions to your fit-out costs. Thirdly, are you going to be responsible for any repairs? Depending on the type and location of the premises, you may find that there is an expectation that you will be responsible for any ongoing repairs and maintenance. For instance, in a shopping centre complex, the lessee is almost always responsible for repairs. In any other leased premises, responsibility is usually determined by negotiation at the beginning of the lease. Make sure you understand your obligations. In this area, before signing a lease, to avoid being caught out and to minimise risk of any potential dispute with the landlord in the future. Repairs to things like air conditioning can be costly, so it's important you are clear about your obligations. And finally, one of the most important issues to determine before signing the lease is what your obligations will be at the end of the lease. What happens at the end of the lease when you hand the premises back or make good can be one of the most contentious issues in any commercial lease. In most leases, there will be a standard inclusion that the tenant returns the premises back to the condition they were in when first rented, regardless of any improvements done in the meantime. It is vital that you understand what your obligations are in terms of make good at the very beginning of the lease. You will need to know exactly what was there at the start and what will be expected at the end of your lease. Returning the premises back to the original condition can be a costly and time-consuming process if you have made any significant changes, so be warned. You may find yourself paying rent well beyond the termination date of the lease until the landlord is satisfied with your make good. Leases can vary considerably, so having an experienced lawyer at hand to review the lease, explain your obligations and negotiate any terms and conditions is a sound investment. If you are looking for new premises for your business, Maclarens lawyers can help. It pays to understand all of your responsibilities, rights and obligations before you sign on that dotted line.